TSR Hall of Shamer Amy Horton is at it again. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Miss Horton, she's a blogger for Bold.com who puts her true female nature on display for all the world to see. She's written articles like, quote, "I've been single for 3 years and I'm lonely as bleep. I'm no longer embarrassed to use one guy to get over another. And I finally realized my worth and it's changing everything." Now, as a side note, she blocked me on Twitter before I even got a chance to look at her page, which says to me that she's most definitely aware of the accuracy of the surgical analysis of my breakdowns on her articles. Much like Janelle Testa, who caught wind of a video I did on her a while back and whined about it on Instagram. I've got close to 1 million views between these breakdowns on these banana gobblers. At any rate, it appears that Ms. Horton also writes for Thought Catalog. And if you take a 5-minute stroll through that website, you'll see they definitely named the website correctly, even though they got the spelling wrong. Anyway, a special thanks goes out to Mark D, who sent in an article penned by Miss Horton on THOT Catalog entitled, "Why Men Who Marry Girl Power Movement Advocates End Up the Happiest." As a side note, I'm going to stay away from saying the F word to keep it YouTube friendly. So from now on, an F'inist will be called the GPMA, which is the acronym for Girl Power Movement Advocate. Now, 2 things jump out immediately just by reading the title. Number 1, it's contradictory. Part of the GPMA anthem is swearing off marriage and monogamy. These broads are always screaming, marriage is legalized slavery. Don't allow yourself to be locked down, explore your options. Marriage is a part of the patriarchy. Yet here she is telling us about marrying GPMAs, a group of people who swear off marriage in the first place. So why would a banana-gobbling GPMA like Amy Horton be telling us we'd be happy if we married one? Well, the answer to that is what leads me to the second thing that jumps out in the title, and that is desperation. GPMAs are desperate, y'all. It's all fun and games in their 20s when they're hooking up with dudes by the dozen, hopping from bed to bed and attending eggplant enthusiast walks. But after they hit that attraction wall, now they start to panic. Now they start to realize that they'd better lock down a man soon before they've lost most of their dating market value, which, by the way, is the wrong mentality, because dating market value doesn't get commitment from select men. Relationship market value does. But these clueless women out here won't realize this until they're in their 80s, swiping for the D on Tinder, just like Hattie in the NYC. Every article these girls write about is about how they don't need to be tied down, and about how they need to be a, quote, free spirit, and how they don't need to do anything strictly for the pleasure of men. But their tone changes when they hit 44 years old like Miss Horton here. So let's dive in and see what kind of snake oil she's selling this time. It starts, quote, "Blankenism is probably not what you think it is. The word and the movement have been distorted and warped in a million different directions. It is simply the belief that men and women are equal human beings and should be treated as such. That said, everyone should be a GPMA, but we have a long way to go." So right out of the gate, she hits us with the very fallacy that has crippled relationships between men and women in 2020. Before I discuss this any further, let me quickly remind you that if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. I would also like to remind you that enrollment for Relationship Foundation Fundamentals opens in less than 24 hours. The lovely and talented Devin and I will teach you exactly how to set up and foster an environment conducive to a long, lasting, and healthy relationship. We will take you step by step through the process of building a rock-solid foundation for a relationship that will last. Plus, this course is absolutely jam-packed with bonuses. The first bonuses are the ebook and audiobook versions of the guide that will put you miles ahead of your competition, The 49 Laws of Sharpe. The 49 Laws of Sharpe is the first thing you should consume when you find this community because it gives you hard and fast truths about women, the dating market, and your own dating market value. This is a $50 value, absolutely free. The second bonuses are the audio and video version of my 25-hour game and seduction course, How to Master the Game. How to Master the Game will teach you how to attract, retain, and maintain a rotation of women until you decide to settle down. This is an additional $350 value added to the course. The third bonus is the shit test guide. The shit test guide gives you all the answers in terms of passing the kinds of tests women like to deploy at any point in a relationship. Learning to pass shit tests can literally be the difference between success and failure in your relationships. Add another $150 to the total value of the bonuses. Bonus 4 is the Gold Digger Guide. The Gold Digger Guide will make it damn near impossible for any woman with nefarious intentions to exploit you financially. This guide is a must if you are or will become a high earner. This is another $200 value free. The fifth bonus is the CME package. All enrollees will get access to all CME speeches and the never-before-seen CME post-speech interviews. Guys, this is another $300 value. But now it's time to reveal the last and final bonus, which is another $600 value to run the total value of all of your bonuses to over $1,600. And that is the one-of-a-kind video manual not found anywhere else that is literally the cheat code to female communication, womanese. That's right, gentlemen, I am including the video version of my signature course that has opened the eyes of millions of men. With over 600 translations, the treasure trove of the absolute golden knowledge within womanese will change your life. That sounds hyperbolic, but it's true. The ability to accurately decode female communications will open your eyes and your mind in ways you can never imagine. Again, a $600 value absolutely free for all enrollees. And don't forget the week-long Q&A Zoom calls that Devin and I will host, where we will answer all of your questions about building a foundation for a great relationship. And the enrollment period is only a few days long. This is your best opportunity to finally change your dating life for the better. So head on over to tsracademy.com/howtorelationship to lock down one of the last few spots available for this life-changing course. Link in description and up above. Okay, let's get back to this drivel masquerading as an article. There is proof all around us every day that flies in the face of this falsehood. But these idiots continue to double down on this doctrine even though their lives are in the toilet. But let's go back to what she said at the very beginning when she said the word and the movement has been distorted and warped into a million directions. She's right. The girl power movement has been warped and distorted. But what she's being disingenuous about is that the distortion has been met with open arms by GPMAs like her. The more they get, the more they want. Now that's a topic for another day, but the girl power movement is actually quite simple, and there are three main objectives that the girl power movement in the 21st century seeks to accomplish. Number 1, to transfer resources from women to men. Number 2, to put sexual restraints on men while removing them from women. And number 3, to hold men accountable while taking away our authority, while simultaneously giving women authority and never holding them accountable. This is exactly why family and divorce courts are heavily biased towards men, why women hook up with random guys and falsely accuse him of doing bad things if he doesn't want to see her again on account of her bad attitude and bad breath, and why society always points the finger at men anytime women make bad decisions. So while Amy says the girl power movement is probably not what you think it is, she's right, if you're the kind of man who does not have this level of awareness. Let's continue. The guys who end up loving GPMAs are the best men around, she says. They often identify as GPMAs themselves. Because they are comfortable with the term and with their own masculinity, they truly appreciate and celebrate the inherent beauty of the womanhood of their partners. They are not intimidated by female strength and empowerment. GPMAs love them back because they know they will never have to rein in their true selves around these men. Well, Amy's 2 for 2 now. Men who end up loving GPMAs are the best men around. They are the best men for GPMAs because they're pushovers and allow women to get away with behaviors that are conducive to cheating. They're the men who wife up the green-haired single mother with a bull ring and a thigh tattoo who may or may not have done amateur adult films. Of course these guys are comfortable with the term. They have positively zero clue as to what traditional masculinity and true womanhood really is. So yes, GPMAs absolutely love these male GPMAs because they foolishly commit to these used-up broads and are incapable of reining them in. The, quote, misogynists, on the other hand, are deplorable human beings. Not only are they not comfortable with the term GPMA, they embrace toxic masculinity. They expect women to act like, dare I say, women. These Neanderthals will never understand that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and will never experience the blissful joys of being with a full-figured woman whose body is a canvas for art that tells her life story and her truth. Amy hits the nail on the head in this paragraph. So I guess that makes me a deplorable, sexist Neanderthal who objectifies women, turns my nose up at obesity, and requires my woman to rein in her true nature. Yeah, actually, that sounds about right. So why marry a GPMA, she asks? Marry her because she owns who she's become and where she started. Her journey to the proud acceptance of her divine feminine was not an easy one, but she pushed ahead anyway. Marry her because she knows what she wants, and when she chooses a partner, it's a deliberate decision. If she's picked you, understand that it's not something she takes lightly. GPMAs love more deeply than you can ever imagine. They know that finding a person who celebrates them for their courage, individuality, and grit is not a given. When GPMAs use the word, quote, owns, It means that they're not ashamed of their sausage collecting ways. This is why they don't like being S-shamed. They don't like being called out for their banana gobbling ways. So rather than get defensive because they know there's no defense, they, quote, own who they are, which is womanese for, I've been plowed by 247 dudes, but I can't reveal that I regret it. So I will pretend that I am not ashamed of my past by, quote, owning who I am. You see this on social media all the time. Let's look at another word GPMAs like to use, which is journey. Understand this, gentlemen. Anytime a woman uses the word journey, she's talking about being ran through. She's talking about her phallus phase, which, by the way, isn't a phase. You see, once a girl enters her phallus phase, she never leaves. Ever. Even if she's in a relationship, she's still in her phallus phase because she's advertising herself on social media and gobbling bananas on the side, which likely includes her ex. Anyway, journey is shorthand for sleeping around when women use it within the context of describing their pasts. My journey has made me who I am. Yes, it's made you a banana gobbler. I love the journey I'm on right now. Yes, you love being a cucumber connoisseur. My journey is my truth. Yes, you are an eggplant enthusiast, and that is the truth. Women are experts at finding what they believe to be profound words and phrases to describe their promiscuity. And, quote, journey is one of their favorites. And of course choosing a partner is a deliberate decision. When a woman hits the attraction floor and attention from the men she wants starts to dwindle, she deliberately decides to find a sucker to rescue her from her bad decisions. She continues, marry her because she's got a wicked sense of humor and she'll make you belly laugh when you least expect it. Her wit developed from the need for lightness in her life. She's had so much heavy bleep to deal with that she had to bring some silliness into the mix. She doesn't take herself, or anything else, too seriously. There's no time for that. This is another mistake that women make when taking relationship advice from GPMAs. Women with a, quote, wicked sense of humor are insufferable. They're annoying as hell to be around because they're always trying to crack jokes and be a ballbuster. This is why female comedians are unattractive. Even the half-decent looking female comedians like Whitney Cummings and Chelsea Peretti go from maybe a 6.5 to a 3.5 when they start flapping their gums on stage. Nobody wants a wisecracking ballbuster as a girlfriend or wife. It's not attractive. It's not feminine. Then she talks about the fact that she's had so much heavy stuff to deal with. The term heavy stuff falls into the same category as journey, in that it means getting ran through by dudes into the hundreds. I've been through a lot is womanese for I've been ran through a lot. I've had so much adversity in my life. That's womanese for I've had so much sausage in my life. I've had some heavy stuff to deal with. That's womanese for I've hooked up with a lot of men and every encounter took a piece of my soul. And what you see is what's left. Then Miss Horton says that the, quote, marriage material GPMA doesn't take herself or anything else too seriously. And she's absolutely right, which makes her 3 for 3 now. Amy's hitting it out of the park today. No, GPMAs don't take themselves seriously because men of value don't take them seriously either. When you get nailed and bailed on by enough men who don't commit to you because they don't take you seriously, because you dropped your panties an average of 42 minutes after meeting them for the first time, you start to see the truth, which is that you are not relationship material. And when they come to this realization, they have no choice but to not take themselves seriously because the men they want don't take them seriously. Then, predictably, Miss Horton reveals who and what GPMAs really are at the end of the paragraph when she says they don't take anything else seriously, which includes relationships. But then she writes articles like, every woman should try dating another woman. I'm sick of playing it safe in life. I'm ready to start making some bad decisions. Then wonder why men don't take her seriously. She continues, she'll make you the happiest you've ever been because she is your equal partner in all things. Not only will she love you fiercely, but her dedication to her own goals and ideals will also inspire and motivate you in your personal endeavors. She accepts you fully for who you are. She gives back to you exactly what she expects: respect, devotion, dedication, honesty, and happiness. Now she's covertly advising men to look for his, quote, equal partner in all things. And men who follow this advice go horribly wrong. First of all, if you're living like a man should, no woman is your equal, nor will she ever be. So that's the first problem right there. Not enough men are living a life of unapologetic dominance. And when women see this, they think they're equal to or even greater in value than these men. There are very few women who are equal to or greater than men overall. The barometer I'll use here is the female executive or female attorney who makes 6 figures. She has slightly more value than the office schlub who makes $40K a year. But within the context of dating and relationships, the average man has far more value than the average woman, and that's a fact. Secondly, if a man needs a woman to inspire and motivate him, then he's not a man. He is a male. As a man, you shouldn't need anyone, much less a woman, to inspire and motivate you. You may find one who will for a short time, but after a while, she'll start to lose attraction and devotion to you because you lack the requisite drive to accomplish what you want. A man should only need himself, and women know this. This is why men who say, "You complete me," to their women get cheated on a week and a half later. And she does it with the guy who shows her he can and will dominate life with or without her. Next, she talks about her dedication to her goals. Gentlemen, if you haven't heard anything I've told you to this point, you need to listen up here, because this is going to mean the difference between success and failure in your vetting process of women should you decide to pursue a relationship of consequence with a female who appears to want to be trained for the job. The only goal your woman should have, outside of making you happy, are the goals you have. Women who have goals outside of their man's goals are selfish and act selfishly. Not only that, they're never satisfied, because masculine goals made by females don't fulfill women like they fulfill men. This is why women who make a lot of money are miserable. There is no amount of money, status, cars, or houses that will make a woman feel the joy and satisfaction she gets from knowing a man she respects and loves her back. A woman who dedicates herself to anything outside of making you happy and assisting you in your endeavors is a woman who is destined to betray you. A woman cannot serve two gods, gentlemen. There's only room for one. And if that one isn't you, then her departure is a mathematical certainty. Count on it. She continues. Her effenism allows her to not only embrace herself as she is, but to celebrate herself for it. This, in turn, gives her the freedom to joyfully spread love to everyone and everything around her. You are the closest person to her, she says, the person who gets the best and brightest of her shine. Her zest for her everyday existence is intoxicating. Like it or not, you too will get caught up in her strong appreciation for the gifts she's given. She knows that each day is a blessing, and she knows that you too are a blessing. She sees exactly who you are, and instead of finding fault or criticizing, she simply loves you. She loves you for all the quirks and idiosyncrasies that make you unique. To her, there's no such thing as a character flaw. Her power lies in accepting herself and everyone else at face value. You can't help but smile around her, she continues. She's an infectiously blissful human. Rather than wasting her time with negativity and gossip, she spends it uplifting those around her, whether they identify as male, female, or something else entirely. I love how she characterizes flirting with men as, quote, spreading love to everyone and everything around her. Illimitable Man and I had a great discussion about the difference between extroverted girls and introverted girls almost 3 years ago. You can find that conversation and the Masculine Excellence Lifestyle Kit when you enroll in Womanese Volume 2. Anyway, we discussed the fact that extroverted girls usually make very bad significant others because they draw more attention from men as a natural byproduct of their personalities, which, by the way, is by design. Girls who are outgoing and the, quote, life of the party cheat the most and the quickest. This isn't to say that introverted girls don't cheat, because trust me, they most certainly do. But females who are extroverts constantly put themselves in situations that lead to cheating a lot more than introverted girls do. And for you guys watching who have an outgoing or extroverted girlfriend, spare me with your BS self-invested arguments as to why you think I'm wrong. Because I'll tell you something, I have never, and I mean never, met a girl who was outgoing in the life of the party who wasn't a sausage collector whether she was in a relationship or not. So don't blame me, blame the game. I don't make the rules. Now, as far as getting the best and brightest of her shine, that is 624% false. Just because she's your girlfriend or wife does not mean you get the best and brightest of her shine. The man who gets that is the man she's the most aroused by. Could be your boss, could be Kevin in sales, could be Justin the hot barista, could be Dave the unemployed garage band guitar player who may or may not be dating a girl who may or may not be his cousin. Women like Amy Horton always promise that if you commit to a banana gobbler, then you'll get her best. But in actuality, the men who get her best are usually the men who don't commit. Funny how that works, right? The next thing she said that got my attention was when she said that instead of finding fault or criticizing, she simply loves you. She loves you for all the quirks and idiosyncrasies that make you unique, and that there's no such thing as a character flaw. Guys, she's not talking about herself or the girl power advocate you foolishly decide to marry or commit to. Oh no. What she's doing here is trying to manipulate men into ignoring her faults, her quirks, and idiosyncrasies. She's attempting to shame men for pointing out and correcting bad behavior. She is indirectly promising men, that by marrying a girl power movement advocate, that you too will be free from judgment and criticism if you do the same. Remember a few paragraphs ago when she said, quote, she gives back to you what she expects: respect, devotion, dedication, honesty, and happiness? Remember that? This is her trying to manipulate you into giving her respect, devotion, dedication, honesty, and happiness on the assumption that she will do it first. In other words, she wants you to treat her like a lady before she's earned it, and promising that she'll reciprocate these things so long as you give it to her first. This chick is trying to get ladylike treatment on credit, and it don't work that way. At least not with men who are worth a damn. Men in the know understand very clearly that women only value what they are required to work for. This is why men who make women earn their commitment have better behaved wives and girlfriends than men who gave their commitment away before she did what it took to earn it first. On the other side of that coin, this is exactly why most women behave poorly in relationships. Most men don't require women to work for their commitment. Most men don't make women earn their trust. Most men don't require a woman to bring anything to the table other than her 4 kids, 3 baby daddies, 2 abortions, and 1 food stamp card. These are the men who believe women like Amy who promise to reciprocate the kind of treatment they require. Then they're surprised when these women don't live up to their end of the bargain. This is why you never, ever, ever give a female good treatment on credit. She will never make her payments on time, and eventually she will stop making those payments and default altogether. But the difference between a loan and your time is that a car can be repossessed, a home can be foreclosed on. Your time cannot be. This is and always will be the reason why time is far more valuable than money. And for those of you who give women your time without her having to earn it, end up in the red. Women are high-risk investments, gentlemen, and it would be incumbent upon you to make her invest first so that she has skin in the game. Make a woman invest her time, her attention, and her effort, and this drastically reduces the odds of her screwing you over. Too many dudes out here are investing in women first. Then when a girl bounces on them, they get left holding the bag. Nah, bruh, make her hold that bag. Then you help her hold it if she can prove that she can hold it long enough. Don't be out here giving these broads your time and commitment and attention on credit. Women have bad credit anyway, so if they don't pay their car notes and credit card payments on time, what the hell makes you think she's gonna pay you on time, if at all? Quit giving these females ladylike treatment before they deserve it. It's like giving a crackhead crack on credit. You will never see him again, and that would be your own fault for not listening and abiding by commandment number 6 of Biggie Smalls' 10 crack commandments. So gentlemen, do you think that men who marry GPMAs are the happiest, or are they as miserable as we all think they would be? And ladies who are GPMAs, do you agree with Amy Horton, or are you finally going to admit that your endorsement of the girl power movement has made you radioactive to the opposite sex? Let me know in the comments below.